Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can access your Burp Suite HTTP history directly through Claude using the Burp MCP server and use features like repeater, intruder, and much more, all through simple prompts. Then, we'll take those captured HTTP requests and see how we can analyze them for potential security vulnerabilities, identify bugs, and even turn our findings into professional bug bounty reports. So make sure you watch until the end, because I'll be covering the prompts, workflow, and all the techniques I use throughout the process. As always, remember that ethical hacking requires proper authorization. Make sure you have explicit permission before testing any assets. This video is for educational purposes only. Let's get started. First, let me explain what MCP actually is. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. In simple terms, MCP is a way for an AI like Claude to connect with external tools and use them directly. Think of Claude as the brain, and MCP as the bridge that connects that brain to different tools. For example, Claude by itself can understand your instructions and generate text, but it doesn't automatically have access to tools like Burp Suite and others. When you connect a Burp Suite MCP server, Claude can communicate with Burp and interact with the features that the MCP server exposes. So the basic flow looks like this. I hope you now have a clear understanding of how Burp Suite MCP works. Now, let's move on to the actual setup. First, open Burp Suite and go to the BAP store. Search for MCP and make sure you select the correct extension. Before installing it, you can check the extension's features and the author to make sure you're using the right one. Once you've confirmed it, simply click Install. Burp will install the extension and it should open in a new tab. Now, enable the required options. You'll also see an option for auto-approved HTTP targets. Here, you can add your target domain, your subdomains, or even use a wildcard. This is important because once your target is approved, Claude won't need to ask for your permission every time it wants to interact with that host. For this demonstration, I'm using a dedicated test website so we can safely go through the entire process without affecting a real target. If you're using Claude Desktop, you can follow the installation button shown here. And if you're running Claude from the terminal, make sure you extract the required jar file first. You can also check the project's GitHub repository, where you'll find all the installation steps. Just follow those instructions, and the required Burp MCP jar file will be generated. Once you have the jar file, go back to Burp Suite and open the Extensions tab. From here, load the MCP jar file. You can either use a jar file generated from the GitHub repository, or use a jar file provided directly through the MCP tab. Once the extension is loaded, you'll see that the MCP server is running on localhost with a specific port. And that's basically the Burp side of the setup. Now we just need to connect it with Claude. Enter this command shown here, and Claude will connect to your Burp MCP server. And that's it. Your Burp Suite and Claude MCP connection is now ready. Now, let's open Claude. Go to the MCP section, and here you'll see all the MCP servers available to Claude. As you can see, our Burp MCP server is connected. If we open it and click View Tools, you'll see all the tools that Claude can access through Burp Suite. This is where things start getting really interesting, because Claude can now interact with Burp through MCP instead of us manually performing every single action. Before we start testing, let's prepare our target. Open the test website and make sure Burp's proxy is enabled. I'll also quickly show you a small demonstration of how Burp MCP works, just so you have a better understanding of what's happening behind the scenes. Now, let's go to the Target tab in Burp and add our target to the scope. Once the target is added, open the HTTP history filter and select Show Only in Scope Items. This is important because now, Burp will only show the HTTP traffic belonging to the target we're actually testing. Now comes the crawling and traffic collection part. Open the target website and browse it just like a normal user. Go through all the available functionality. Click the different buttons, open menus, test search fields, visit different pages, go through login functionality, and interact with as many features as possible. The goal here is to generate as much useful HTTP traffic as possible. The more functionality we interact with, the more URLs, endpoints, parameters, APIs, and other interesting requests we'll collect. And as we browse the application, all of those requests will automatically appear inside Burp's HTTP history. But we can go even further. If you want to discover additional URLs and endpoints, go back to the Target tab, open Engagement Tools, and select Discover Content. Burp will now crawl the application and try to discover additional content, URLs, directories, and endpoints. You can let this run until you've collected enough traffic. Once you think you've collected enough, stop the crawl. Now go back to the HTTP history filter. This time, select Show Only Parameterized Requests, and now we have a much more useful view. We're mainly looking at requests that contain parameters, which are often interesting candidates for further security testing. So at this point, we've finished collecting our traffic. Now comes the main part. Let's launch Claude Code. The first prompt we're going to give Claude is responsible for analyzing and organizing the entire Burp HTTP history we've collected. The prompt tells Claude to go through the HTTP history, remove duplicate requests, organize everything in the order we've defined, and then provide us with a complete summary after the analysis is finished. Before running it, make sure you enable auto mode by pressing Shift+Tab. This means Claude won't stop and ask for approval every time it needs to perform an action. Depending on how much traffic you've collected, this can take some time. So let it finish. And once it's done, you can see that Claude has analyzed the entire HTTP history. In my case, we have hundreds of requests. After deduplication and sorting, Claude has organized their requests into a much cleaner list. And if we compare them with Burp's HTTP history, you can see that these are the same requests we captured earlier. But Claude isn't just listing them, it's also analyzing what each part of the application is doing. It can identify application functionality, API endpoints, interesting parameters, and sensitive information found inside the captured traffic. And at the end, it gives us the complete summary we asked for. So now we have a much better understanding of application's traffic. Let's move to the second prompt. This prompt takes the HTTP history we've already analyzed and starts identifying the application's attack surface. Instead of looking at everything randomly, we're asking Claude to go through the attack surface in the specific order defined in the prompt. Once the process finishes, you can see all the different attack surfaces Claude discovered. For example, it can identify functionality that may be relevant for XSS, SQL injection, IDOR, authentication, authorization, and other vulnerability classes. And importantly, it also tells us which endpoints and requests are associated with each attack surface. So now we have gone from hundreds of raw HTTP requests to a much more organized map of the application's potentially interesting functionality. Now let's move to the next prompt. This is where the actual vulnerability testing begins. We're going to take the attack surface Claude discovered in the previous step and use those endpoints to test for the vulnerability classes we've defined. Claude will go through the vulnerability list one by one and perform the required testing against the relevant requests and endpoints. This part can take a lot of time, especially if you've collected a large amount of traffic, so don't stop the process early. Let Claude finish the testing. While it's running, you can also see what's happening in the background. Press Ctrl+O and you'll be able to view the background processes. Here you can see the Burp request Claude is making through the MCP connection. So Claude is essentially using Burp as the interface to interact with the application and perform the testing we've instructed it to do. Once everything is finished, Claude will give us the results. You can see the different vulnerability classes it tested, along with the confirmed and suspected findings. It also provides the affected endpoints and the requests that were used as evidence. And this is the important part. We're not just getting a list saying, this might be vulnerable. For the findings that are confirmed, we can also see the request and evidence supporting the result. Now that the testing is complete, let's move to our final prompt. This prompt takes all the findings we've discovered and turns them into a clean, professional security report. It will organize the vulnerabilities by name and severity, include the affected endpoints, explain the evidence, describe the impact, and provide remediation recommendations. The findings are organized by severity, and we also have a prioritized list of recommended fixes based on the vulnerability classes. So that completes the full step-by-step workflow. We started with the Burp HTTP history, then we organized and analyzed the traffic. After that, we identified the attack surface, then we tested the relevant endpoints for different vulnerability classes, and finally, we generated a professional report from the confirmed findings. But there's one more thing I want to show you. What if you don't want to run all of these prompts separately? Well, for that, I also have a one-shot prompt. Instead of manually running each phase one by one, this prompt combines the entire workflow into a single process. It instructs Claude to work through the different bug hunting phases, starting from the captured traffic and attack surface, moving into advanced vulnerability testing, checking possible vulnerability chains, and finally generating a detailed bug bounty report. So let's run the one-shot prompt and let Claude do its work. Now, this process can take quite a while, especially when you're giving Claude a large HTTP history and asking it to perform multiple testing phases. So let's give it some time to finish. And perfect. The testing is now complete. Let's look at the final report. As you can see, Claude has generated a complete security report. It includes the summary, the individual findings, technical evidence, affected endpoints, business impact, and remediation recommendations. So it looks much closer to an actual professional bug bounty or penetration testing report. And it doesn't stop there. The workflow can also look for possible vulnerability chains, where multiple weaknesses can potentially be combined to create a higher impact attack scenario. And once everything is finished, it can also generate the final report as a file. Pretty impressive, right? Now, obviously, this doesn't mean you can completely replace your own security knowledge. You still need to understand the application, define the scope correctly, review the results, and verify the findings. But this workflow can save a huge amount of manual effort. Think about it. If you test everything manually in Burp, you may have hundreds or even thousands of requests to go through. You have to understand what each endpoint does, identify interesting parameters, find the attack surface, test different vulnerability classes, analyze the responses, verify the findings, and finally write the report. That can take a huge amount of time. With Burp MCP and Claude, we can automate a large part of that workflow. You capture the application's traffic in Burp, connect Burp with Claude through MCP, and then use well-designed prompts to guide Claude through the different testing phases. And the better your prompts are, the better you can control the workflow. So the main thing you need to master here isn't just MCP. You need to understand how to structure your prompts, how to define the testing methodology, and how to properly review the results. And remember, always use this workflow only against applications and targets where you have explicit authorization to perform security testing. I'll provide all the notes, prompts, and the complete workflow in my upcoming Medium articles with much more detail on each individual step. So make sure you follow me on Medium and turn on notifications so you don't miss them. And that's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to take this even further. I'll show you how we can create our own skills for bug hunting and how we can use pre-built skills from the community to automate common tasks in our daily security research. That's a wrap for today's video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you're always updated with our latest content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.